At this time, I'd like to call to order the 12th August 2024 Jackson County Commission meeting. Let me say thank you for everyone being here. We have a number of items on the agenda tonight to include recognizing a number of our county family who have done great service to our county for quite a few years, ranging from tonight, I think, 10 years to 25 years of service to the county. Also, we have a fairly short new business agenda, but we have a number of items to discuss in the work session tonight. So with that, let me ask Mr. Hamrick, our county administrator, please call the roll to establish a quorum.
Commissioner Gully.
Present.
Commissioner Kennemer.
Present.
Commissioner Buckner. Commissioner McBride.
Present.
We do have a quorum. I understand Commissioner Buckner is running a little late, trying to get out of Huntsville traffic today, and so he will be here later. At this time, if everyone would please stand, we'd like to ask Sheriff Hornan to please offer our invocation and Commissioner McBride to lead our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father God, we bow in your awesome presence to humbly ask your blessing upon this meeting, this gathering of your people. Father, we thank you especially today for those that put their life in harm's way, especially our military who are ready to serve in defense of this country. Father, we ask you to bless each and every employee of this county and each citizen of this county. May you strengthen, may you protect each and every one of them. Father, we ask your blessing upon this meeting. Be with these commissioners as they make decisions that affect each and every person here. We ask these things in your blessed Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The agenda for tonight's meeting is in your packet. I want to make one addition to the agenda, and that is will be under item A, commission, be item number 2 under commission. It's new personnel policy review. Though we will not be able with time to get to that tonight, we will go into recess at this meeting and reconvene on Thursday, 15 August at 5 o'clock. That will take a considerable amount of discussion as we discuss that. With that, do I have a motion to approve the 12 August 2024 agenda with the addition of work session discussion item A, commission, item 2, new personnel policy review?
Make that motion.
We have a motion. Have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. At this time, we have the opportunity to recognize a number of our county employees for their service to the county, and so I would like the commissioners to please join me as we make those presentations. So we're going to move down there, and first, Mr. Keith Bradford. Keith, thanks for your service to the county. Now, if you'll stand right here, I think somebody's going to try to take your picture in a few minutes. So, but Keith has been with our jail staff since 2014, in fact, May 2014. Started out as a jailer and has now moved as of 2018, has become our jail maintenance, and that's a tough job. Oh yes, we recognize it's a tough job over here, and so we just have to say thank you for your service. So this certificate is in recognition of Keith's service, and it's in appreciation for his 10 years of dedicated service to Jackson County and our citizens of Jackson County. And so this is presented on this 12th day of August 2024 by the Jackson County Commission. So Keith, thanks for the great work that you're doing, and I know what you're doing is a great service, keeping the jail up and running every day for us. So let's put that right there. So. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bittinger? Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for all that you do for us. Great work in public works. Hard jobs. Everybody in this county family has a hard job, but we certainly want to say thank you for yours. Yes. So Kevin started out in 2009 with us as a highway maintenance technician 1, and then in 2016 moved up to be an HMT 2, and now is, as of September 2019, is a HMT 3. So when you see the guys out on the roads, whether they're filling potholes or whether they're prepping roads or whether they're paving roads or so many other things that they're doing out there, in many days, it's 95, 96, 97 degrees out there with a heat index that's running in the 100s. And so they're out there doing the job. So Kevin, thanks so much for what you've done for us in the years of your service. Now this is for a recognition of 15 years of service to our county. And so it is awarded to Kevin Bittinger in appreciation for his 15 years of dedicated service to Jackson County and our citizens of Jackson County. Presented today, 12 August 2024, on behalf of the Jackson County Commission. So, Kevin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's yours. Mr. Glenn Travis. So another member of the maintenance staff in the jail, our maintenance director over there. So Glenn, thank you, and this is for 20 years of service to our county and your service. Started in April of 2024, or I'm sorry, 2004, not 2024. And as just a member of the maintenance team in the jail. And as of October 2016 is our director of jail maintenance. And as we said before, that is a tough job. Taking care of that jail and keeping it going. The jail, I forget how old the jail is.
About 20 years old.
About 20 years old, so it is quite a task.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, parts of it are not obtainable because they don't make them anymore, and he can figure out how to make some of them.
Wow. So, thank you very much, sir. So this certificate of recognition is presented to Mr. Glenn Travis in appreciation for his 20 years of service to Jackson County and the citizens of Jackson County, presented today, 12 August 2024. And so on behalf of the commissioners, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shannon? Ms. Shannon Gaddis is a member of our Revenue Commission team, works in real estate. Started in 1999 as a Revenue Commission clerk. And as of October 2011 is the Assistant Revenue Supervisor. So this is in recognition of 25 years of service to the county. And so we want to say thank you. We know you're there every day. You're there early every day, getting ready for folks to come in and visit and say hello to you. Right?
On a good day.
So Shannon, on behalf of the commission, this award is presented to Ms. Shannon Gaddis in appreciation for her 25 years of dedicated service to Jackson County and our Jackson County citizens. So thank you so much. Teresa, Ms. McQuarrie, another member of our real estate section of revenue. Teresa is being awarded for 25 years of service to the county. Started in 1999 as a clerk in the revenue office. And then in 2010 became the assistant real estate supervisor. And in October 2011, the revenue supervisor. So she's been doing this a long time as well. She sits in the back and orchestrates all that stuff that goes on every day. And has a lot of other jobs in support of the county, as we know. So this certificate of recognition is presented to Ms. Teresa McQuarrie in appreciation for her 25 years of dedicated service to Jackson County and the citizens of Jackson County. And so on behalf of the commission, this is presented this 12th day of August 2024. Thank you, ma'am. Gary? Another recognition for 25 years of service to the county. Sheriff's Office, Mr. Eric Woodall, started as a deputy in May of 1999. In 2002, became one of our investigators for the county. And then in 2010 was promoted to investigation captain, and in March of 2017 promoted to investigation major, and as of April 2023, he is our chief deputy in the sheriff's office. And so thank you so much for the great work that you guys do. We know what it's like out there. All of Jackson County, 1,070 square miles of Jackson County that you guys are patrolling every day and taking care of, providing for the safety and welfare of our citizens. So, Eric, we just want to say thank you. And again, this certificate is presented to Mr. Eric Woodall, appreciation for his 25 years of dedicated service to Jackson County and the citizens of Jackson County. And on behalf of the County Commission, I want to present this to you on this 12th day of August, 2024. Thank you. Any of our commissioners want to say anything?
I'd like to say, just appreciate everything everybody does. Takes a village, as the saying goes, to keep the county going, so we appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to the dedication, 25 years of service, several awards at the same time. Appreciate everything that you guys do.
Also, would like to thank you for your service and everything you do. You sacrifice a lot, as well as your family sacrifice a lot when you guys are out on the road and doing different things, and we appreciate you. You don't know how much.
And thanks for the families being here tonight, that participated, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, sir.
Hey, Jay. Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, Mr. Rutledge.
Come on up, AJ. Wilson.
I'm sorry.
AJ.
Hey, how are you? All right. Okay. Everybody ready? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's,
Say y'all later.
at this time, we'll move into our public comment section of our agenda. And so I think we do have a speaker tonight. Thanks, Rocky. So we have Miss Emily Sharp with the Skyline Park Board. And Ms. Sharp, we have a microphone here. You'll speak from there.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
I'm going to ask you a few questions, and that's just to make sure that, for the record, that we have that. So Ms. Sharp, would you state your address?
It's 8780 County Road 17, Woodville, Alabama, 35776.
And you are tonight representing?
The town of Skyline, I'm on the park board committee.
Okay. So tonight we'll give you 5 minutes.
All right, so I'm going to go through these very quick. I knew I had 5 minutes, and that looks a little weird up there, but I do have a presentation to kind of show a little bit. But I am here, something very dear to my heart is our park, which is our rec league. And so, let's see if this will work.
Is it clicking? Look on the side, there's an on switch on the side of it.
Alright, so Cumberland Mountain Park is, located at the top of Skyline, and it currently has those facilities, 2 ball fields, 4 dugouts, a concession stand, main restrooms, a parking lot, playground, basketball, tennis court, a pavilion, and restrooms, and equipment sheds. So it was established back in 1976, and the ownership was changed over to the actual town in 2023. So we've made a lot of upgrades, since having it back, the ownership back to our town. So far, we do have rec league youth sports, and so that's our main concern is our kids, that play from t-ball, coach pitch, baseball, softball, all the way up to 12U softball and baseball. We had 10 teams this past year, and you can see that the participation has, significantly went up each year. So this last time we had 115 kids. However, we, had some issues with our parks, with our lots, and some things that we're needing funds for to help continue this program. So here's just a few pictures. By the way, we did have 2024 12U county champions this past year. So that shows a picture of them. We hold events at this park. So some of the events that we do have is, of course, our practices and our games. We have held tournaments in the past, but we haven't in the last few years because our facility is just not up to par for tournaments right now. We do have some adult softball that use the fields, Skyline Day, Youth Day, which is a hunting expo. The 4th of July celebration we did this past year, which was with the Skyline Volunteer Fire Department, so that was their fundraiser, but they actually hosted it there. That's just a few pictures of our expo day that we do every year. So the upgrades that we've done so far, we put $25,000 into the parking lot with grading and gravel, mulch for the playground, a lot pole and a new sub panel. We had some major lot issues this last year with the flipping breakers. Some of them don't work, so we have replaced 1 new pole so far. It's just a very expensive project to replace them all. We did do new picnic tables for all the ball fields, water heater, new kitchen equipment, a cell phone booster. As you know, Skyline has no service whatsoever, so that was very good. And then, there was multiple volunteer hours dedicated to cleaning it up over the years and to repair the fields and the lawn care and the maintenance. So, it looks a lot better from there than that. So it's came a long way. However, there's still things that need to be done, and we do not have the funds for those. So one of the main things is going to be our dugout, which is the old school real dugout. However, it's not ADA compliant, and it's a safety concern. So we would like to see it be filled in. I did put an estimated cost there from $5,000 to $8,000. It just kind of depends on which way we go, whether it be just gravel or concrete over that gravel. Next will be our lighting, which is our main thing. We did get an estimate from North Alabama Electric Co-op, and that estimated cost is over $100,000. That's 13 new poles and approximately 30 new light fixtures. And so North Alabama did say that it would look kind of the same as what they did at the Skyline softball field. But again, like I had said, we have replaced one pole, which is the darker pole there. That's the one that has been replaced, but the lighting has not been replaced, and at least 35% of those lights are out. So that was where our concern was last year, is we couldn't schedule games after hours because we didn't have sufficient lighting. We have a basketball tennis court, which has a lot of potential. It's big. It actually houses 4 basketball goals and 2 tennis courts. So it does need repairs, though. We would like to see the surface redone because there are cracks. All the basketball goals are broken, so we need new goals for those poles. And we would love to see the tennis court be turned into 2 big pickleball fields. I'm not sure who plays tennis anymore, but pickleball is super popular right now. So that's the current condition of that. Here's our playground. We did upgrade the mulch in it, but the equipment is outdated and damaged. As you see, there is potential for a lot more. Like, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things on there, and they're very outdated. You'll see that even the swings are duct taped together right there. So that's a very big need to upgrade that equipment. And this playground serves a lot of kids because when they're playing rec league games and practices, the siblings are down there at this. I mean, the kids are there. They just don't have a lot to choose from to play at. And then the last thing is going to be the pavilion that is located at the bottom of the park, and the bathrooms. So the bathrooms that are behind there, they have been out of order for over 10 years. We have to have a new septic tank and fill lines to be able to make those usable again. So when we have events down here, they have to walk up to the park to use the main restrooms. So we would like to see those done. As far as the pavilion, I mean, it's older, but it's still a good structure. It just needs some tender loving care, some paint, and some new picnic tables and things like that. So that estimated cost is around $12,000. That is a picture of the bathrooms that we were talking about. So those are the main things right now that are really needing to, the upgrades and repairs that we need to ensure that our rec league continues. We would love to see the basketball field, or the basketball goal, fixed at least. So right now, we have went back from the town hall. We have went there, and of course, there's not funds for this amount right here. So we are, very grateful for anything that you guys could, help us with this. And, we would like to look into some other things like grants, but we would need some help with that. And then, even possibly going before a delegation. So we're here. This is a, concern that we have, something that we, hold close to us. We just need we need a little bit to get started, and hopefully before the next fall field year, or the next year of fall season.
Okay.
Do you guys have questions?
Any questions?
And I would be happy if you guys wanted to ever, come up there to actually see the park.
Thank you. This is very impressive, and I know that it comes from a lot of love, time, and attention. Because anybody working with Little League, there's not a whole lot of money in that, and a whole lot that goes out. So thank you for your time and attention on that. One thing that I would like to suggest on particularly the playground equipment, there are a lot of restaurants that will switch their playground equipment out, and so sometimes it's just a matter of letting it be known that you're looking for. And so McDonald's and places like that, often as they, their stuff is very much usable. It's made out of that hard plastic. It will last forever. And so sometimes it could be just a matter of sending a trailer somewhere and picking stuff up. So that would maybe save you some money. For the other things, having worked in rehab situations like this, keeping your eyes and ears open for poles that you can get from other organizations, and lights, because a lot of light upgrades have happened in the last few years where people have gone to LED lights. And so the kind of lights that you guys are replacing would be there. And so it may be a situation where, as you're building your bankroll, you can replace enough lights to where you can host events at night, and then that becomes a fundraiser in itself. Softball tournaments and things of that nature would generate money for the park. So just some ideas.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we went with the poll so far. It's just what we can to get it functional right now.
Being out there lately too, your parking lot is just extremely been improved.
Yes,
It's a lot there.
it is. There was a lot put into that, and that made the world of difference was the parking lot, for sure.
On your septic system, I can help you with that. I'm the vice chairman of the Alabama On-Site Wastewater Association, so I started a program several years ago called Helping Hands Across Alabama, where we do free septic systems. So if you'll see me after the meeting or later, just give me a call and I can help you with that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Just want to echo what these guys said about the hard work, and, really, you don't get a lot of recognition, for all the work you do, and I just want to say thank you for what you and the community have done for the young children. That's most important, and starting your sports programs, just starting them young, and people don't realize how important that is, but, anything we do.
Have you started grants? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Have you started grants?
No, sir.
Okay.
So, this is, I have looked them up, and, got a little bit of information on it, but from what I'm gathering, you have to like write a whole grant. I've never done that before. So, I just, if there was possibility of someone who kind of knew more about it, then I'd be willing to, work with them, get them what they need, or, help them get what they need to apply for those. But what I did find out is like right now, the, grants are, if you apply for one right now, it's only until 2025. I mean, this is stuff that I'm hoping, at least some of it can be done before we start our ball season in, March is usually, when we start, especially like the dugouts.
Just leave us your contact information, and we would have some playground equipment.
First of all, let me say that a number of us were involved when we made the transfer of the park to the town of Skyline. And what you guys have done to that park has been amazing, what you've had to get things done there. So, and we knew that would be the case, and that was one of the reasons we wanted to make that transfer. Grants, I will tell you, we can go look for grants and see where grants are available. And I believe that there are areas where recreational opportunity, we may be able to find grants. The question of us writing grants, I need to go confirm that we can do that, okay? I need to make sure, because we have to make sure that we're following all the rules and everything with that. But let us first take that on to go see where we can, and if we can find some grant opportunities for you to be able to go get some of that money to help you, even though it will take a while. And that would be also considering legislative grant opportunities, and not just state, but also federal.
Yeah.
I know Congressman Strong tries to help a lot. I don't know if there's any federal money available for that, but we can certainly go ask about that as well, okay?
And every time I see a ballpark fence, I wonder why there's no sign on it. So definitely explore the advertising possibilities, and big picture, you've got fields and you've got the area naming rights to things is something that maybe y'all could explore as a city. And I don't mean to be setting precedents for your city, but that's something that I would look at. Corporations look to have their name put on things, and so that may be an avenue for, a sponsor for your dugout, a sponsor for your bathroom facility, a sponsor for your field, a sponsor for your concession stand, all those things. I mean, it's just a good way of doing it. That's another annual source that can become renewable, because with the data that you're showing there, I mean, that's a big involvement area, and it is the community center in essence. And so, having this same presentation, going and talking to businesses about, which of these would you like to, and have some kind of structure set up that way.
Okay, thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I suspect your mayor will be plugging us too. So.
Who's back?
See him sometime.
Thank you. Good job.
Okay, with that, we will now move into the new business portion of our meeting. First on the agenda are the minutes for our 8 July meeting and work session. There's a copy of that in each of your packets. Give you a moment to scan through that. So with that, do I have a motion to adopt the minutes from the 8 July 2024 meeting and work session?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
No, I'll second that.
Have a second. Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, at the last commission meeting, we approved the organizational change and some job descriptions for our Jackson County Solid Waste Department. There was one item that we had covered in a previous work session that did not get added to your packet last time, and that was the position of the enforcement officer position of solid waste. The discussion we had had in our previous work session was to upgrade that from a grade 8 to a grade 9 position. So to correct that oversight in the last meeting, we have a request from Director Skipper recommending that we change the classification of the enforcement officer position from a grade 8 to a grade 9 with the restructured organization. Do I have a motion to approve the reclassification of the enforcement officer for solid waste department?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. That's all we have in the new business portion of the agenda tonight. We have several items in our work session that are important items. And so the first item is the status of our ARPA funds. Now, the reason we have this on the agenda tonight, one is to give the public a status of what we have done with our ARPA funding, but also we are at the point of needing to make some decisions on some remaining funding that we have. There's a sheet in your packet, Jackson County ARPA, and it is as of July 31st. When we got our ARPA funds, we had two tranches of ARPA funds totaling $10,027,745. The first area you see on your chart are the commitments and obligations that we have made with the ARPA funds to date. That is totaling $9,718,616.66. That included retention pay for our employees. The new HVAC system for the courthouse was $1,958,928. We donated or supported the Nourish One Child program over a 2-year period to help with funding for children backpack programs so that they had foods over their weekends. We committed $100,000 to that. We have just signed a contract with PNC Construction for the upgrades to our courthouse structure, as well as repair the damages that have occurred over time due to structural issues with the courthouse, and also to renovate Liberty Lane, that we will move a large number of administrative services for our county employees to the Liberty Lane building. The courthouse structure, the ARPA funding was $1,243,851, and our Liberty Lane project, the award was for $3,411,791. We also are supporting an upgrade to the Jackson County Water Authority that will put a new pump station at the Larkinsville area. It is designated here as the Larkinsville Water Project. This water upgrade will increase water capacity, pressure, and support for Paint Rock Valley, the towns of Paint Rock, Woodville, up the valley, Princeton, and all the other towns up there, as well as Cumberland Mountain Water Authority, servicing nearly 3,500 residences in Jackson County. We've also committed to for a support funding for a new clarifier with the DeKalb Jackson Water Authority. That is, our commitment was to help with matching funds, and that was, we committed a total of $200,000. That will be a joint commitment program between the Jackson County Commission, the DeKalb Jackson Water Authority, and the DeKalb Commission to support that project. Also, we purchased a body scanner. The Sheriff's Department purchased a body scanner for the jail. This will ensure that they have more capable, more opportunity and more capability to ensure the security of the jail. We also supported another water project. That was the Jackson County Water Authority. It was the Warrenville area. We teamed with Jackson County Water Authority to run water lines out there so that you had county water in that area. We also committed to replacing rescue squad doors at the Scottsboro Jackson County Rescue Squad. That facility assists in times that we get situations like the pandemic that we had, where we were having to test for COVID, and we needed to have a facility away from the hospital to be able to. It was an overflow facility, and so that facility is used for situations like that. And so it was a drive-through facility, and those doors were a safety hazard, and so we worked with them to replace that. We've upgraded the communications network in the courthouse and with all of our departments across the county. We supported the town of Pisgah by supporting their water upgrade, their water system upgrade. We committed $200,000 to support that, to get improved water to the residents and those that are served by the Pisgah Water Authority. We upgraded computers in the sheriff's office so that we could match up with our new computer-aided dispatch system that has been upgraded across the county. And we have also continued with the retention and premium pay for our employees, which ends as of 31 December this year. So as I said before, the total of all of our commitments that are $10 million is $9,718,000, and that leaves a balance of about $309,000 that we so before you tonight on this sheet, and we need to start considering what will be the priority of these commitments. Items that are being recommended or asked by departments are radios for our garbage trucks. Many times they're in locations and they have an issue and they need to get back communication with the shop. A tire machine for solid waste, a garbage truck cover, which would be basically a parking area that we could put our garbage trucks under. Upgrade our HR system with a new software system called Time Clock Plus would get us out of doing all the manual computations of all of our weekly and monthly timesheets. We need some areas of repair at the Jackson County Park for dock repair, and some Wi-Fi upgrade at Jackson County Park. As you know, if people are going to go and book a spot at the park, one of the first things they're going to ask is you have Wi-Fi capability there. The park has also asked for to replace the Gator utility vehicle. One of the issues that we're having across the county, and certainly at our Jackson County Park, is with eelgrass, and we're getting a lot of help with TVA now with that. But if you look long term, the request is for an eelgrass harvester. And then Jacob's Well, that's food bank that's in Skyline, have been serving the community for many, many years, and they have asked for support for their food purchase, as well as there was some request for support for some, I think, to lay a concrete pad and others. Now, I will tell you that we did find that we cannot use ARPA funds for that. So, but we will have that discussion. And well, the point is we can't do that, use the funds for that. So those are just some items that have come up from our department. So the one thing that we need to do is we need to sort of put a priority to this. And as from priority 1 to priority down the line, whatever that priority number is. And then as we assure, then get absolute confirmation of the funds available, then we start. We have 4.5 months at this point to obligate the remaining funds. And remember that if they're not obligated by the 31st of December, then they go back to the federal government, and I would prefer not to have a penny be turned back in. So let's open for discussion. First of all, let me, Director Skipper, would you like to talk to the request from solid waste?
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for allowing me to speak on this. These are a few projects that I presented that we just absolutely need. The tire changer, I would say would be our priority number 1. We're having to change these tires out by hand, and we budget for $40,000. Next year we're budgeting for $60,000. That's for tires. So every bit of that we're having to change out by hand. This is I can show y'all if you don't know. I'm sure Chris, you know the process. If you don't know the process, I ask you to come out to my shop and let my maintenance guys show you how they change these tires out by hand. It's a lot of manual labor of changing this out. So we really need this to keep from anything happening that shouldn't. My next priority on number 2 will be the radios. We had an incident where somebody rear-ended one of our garbage trucks back in the winter, and it was at Skyline. He didn't have a cell phone signal, so he couldn't call. So luckily, it was foggy what had happened. Luckily, somebody stopped and let him use his phone to call 911 to let them know what happened. So the radios, they're a secondary communication now with cell phones, but in areas where we don't have cell phone signal, if they can just reach to another driver, if they can't reach the shop, that would be what we would ask. And then the last one is a metal pole barn, just roof only. We've got one already that's can park about half of our fleet, but we still have 6 to 7 vehicles that are out in the weather. That's a couple $1 million just sitting out. Public Works has a nice pole barn. They can park all their equipment in cars or trucks underneath. So that's just what we want to do. We just want to be able to park all of our trucks and equipment underneath it. And that's it. But if y'all got any questions about individual ones, I've got quotes and prices for all of them. And we ask you to think about us.
Okay. Any
Remember
questions?
me?
Any questions? All right. Thank you. Next, Time Clock Plus, Michelle.
So we are currently collecting timesheets. We have 247 employees, subtracting timesheets for elected officials. 26 pay periods a year, as you can imagine, a folder about that thick. In addition to the timesheets that are coming in for us to do manual data entry on, those timesheets, if there's any revisions that need to be made, they are not just in this courthouse. So we have locations such as Public Works and Solid Waste and the jail where I'm having to ask for revisions, and they're having to run back and forth and get signatures and bring those to us. So this system would allow our employees to clock in and out without the stack of papers that we're having to keep and retain. It's, of course, electronic system, and basically would just kind of update us like the majority of businesses. Any questions?
I got a couple.
Okay.
So is this a one-time purchase, or will there be annual costs that go into this as far as operating?
Our current quote was for around $20,000, but that does not include the finger scan reader like Marshall County has. So I think we quoted 10 of those. So $10,000 a year, actually it's $9,835 is an annual fee. The rest of it is a one-time fee to get it started. It
And
does
that
interface with smart
includes the
computers.
machines, the
Yes, sir.
annual, okay.
And it's our understanding from Marshall County, whether they configure 1 or 10, it's the same price. So if we go ahead and buy all 10, they wouldn't have to come back out and charge us again for the machines.
And so if something goes wrong with this, are we gonna be trained on how to reprogram them and troubleshoot?
Hopefully
or-
Ross can do that.
You can.
But there is a training package
We have-
initially for
Yes,
the system.
yes.
And there's an annual, if there's software upgrades, the 10,000 a year always keeps the software current.
That's correct.
Okay.
Just like our current software.
And the 10,000 covers all the scanners if something goes wrong, then they replace those, like if they break, finger scanners.
Do you know, Matthew? Yeah, we'd have to find out the answer for that.
Okay.
I would chime in and say that this is gonna tie into the accounting software that they do payroll from and everything. That there's a group, they're connected some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not like a party or a software we've got to integrate in and make it work. They have places where they work together and tie into what she does already.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thanks, Michelle. Next, Doug, the park items, dock repair, Wi-Fi, gator, eelgrass harvester.
Okay. We currently have a very poor Wi-Fi coverage at the park. And when campers come in and ask us if we have Wi-Fi, we have to tell them it depends on where you're sitting. So what we need is an overhaul of our Wi-Fi system. We currently pay, I think it's right at $500 a month to Power Board for our Wi-Fi coverage, and it's very poor. So Steve had just started this process to start to get quotes on putting in a new system to overhaul that. The first quote that has come in, the only quote that's come in at this point, is about $30,000, $31,000. And that's for complete coverage. It basically covers everywhere the people are in the park. Campground, playground, our docks. It pretty much covers everything except for the handicap fishing pier, which is on the right as you first come in. And so it would take care of our Wi-Fi coverage. They have an option to kind of maintain a monitor and maintenance fee, annual fee. It's about $300 a month for that, and that's an optional service. We do not have to do that, but we have the option to do a $300 a month kind of a maintenance fee that they can troubleshoot remotely, monitor remotely, and do maintenance remotely on the system. The gator that we currently have is just getting real rough. We need, a utility vehicle the guys can count on because they use that every day. They spray, handle garbage, do maintenance. It's on the road every day in the park, and it's old and getting on its last leg. The harvester, they're doing great things, helping out with the grass harvester. Since they've started running, we have increased the boating traffic through the park. The lady at the park store at the Lakeshore Boat Rental, her business is better, but it's just an elephant out there, and they will never be able to keep that under control, with one machine running. So I went the other day to Goose Pond to watch, and they've got a good clear margin of water around their piers. Their harvester was out running, and it just really looks nice. You know, we've had some people that have been camping at the park for 50 years that have said they're about to pull out, and they said, we'll stay a little longer because we see they're working on it. So people have hope with the machines out there running and harvesting grass, but the long-term solution is gonna be, we're gonna need to have a harvester.
Okay, any questions? Okay, next, Jacob's Well. Yes, ma'am. So we've had this discussion for a number of times, and I think we've sort of asked you to come back once we get to the point where we knew what we had in available funds. So I think everybody understands Jacob's Well real well. I think your annual cost for food is $12,000 a year.
$12,000 a
Yep.
month.
And so what 25,000 would be able to do would be able to support you next year and the year after.
That would be like gold to us.
Yeah.
We have made a decision a long time ago to only buy food from the North Alabama Food Bank. We were down there today, brought home 6,898 pounds of food, 4 pallets for $389. We buy 7 cents and 14 cents a pound. We serve, right now the number's steady, it's not gonna go down, it's 300 families a month. And that's families, that's not individuals. We hand out 15 pounds of frozen meat. We hand out about 45 pounds of staples. And we hand out a snack, what we call a snack bag, but basically it's just more of the same. Sometimes we have candy in there, sometimes we always try to have cereal, peanut butter. Peanut butter's a staple. The plan that we have in place that we're enforcing every month, we have had people come to us genuinely, elderly couples, families, and it is a blessing to be a part of this. We don't take any credit for it, honestly, we don't. It's just dropped out of the sky. It's just helped us. We've got a new building, we've got a new walk-in freezer, and I apologize for all of y'all for not being here last month because I am kind of coordinating that with the food bank. It's a grant. And the people to install that came through that grant from Atlanta. And bless their hearts, they were there from 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be there, and I had to write the check at the end of the day to give it to them. They didn't leave till 6:30 that night. And we got that installed, and we have that thing packed for frozen meat now. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on. It is an absolute joy to work with that. It really is, and we appreciate. If you could give us $25,000, I said $25,000, we could get that. I mean, that would be such a blessing. And we have got options to get $500 more a month that we can take through what they call the value added program at the food bank for the backpack program at the school. And so we got all kinds of plans for that money. I don't understand how you want me to allocate it or whatever. We'll work that out, but it'll be $1,000 a month, yes.
I think what we have to do, and Misty can correct me if I'm wrong, but we sort of set it up over a period of time, maybe once a quarter or whatever, and allocate the money so that you have money to spend. We just then, I think, need your receipts so that we have a record of purchase. And
Okay,
I think
that'd be
that's,
like
we set that up.
invoices,
Yeah,
copies of
just
that,
a
that's what-
copy
yeah.
of them.
Okay, I'm very familiar with it.
Misty, anything I missed with that?
No, but it is a quarterly payment, so, for example, with Nourishment Child, it's $12,000 a quarter, and, you just send me receipts and just kind of like a little progress report of how the 4 months went, and that's pretty much it.
Do we, is it loaded into our checking account?
No, it's a check.
But is it upon reimbursement only?
Yes, you can't pay off any kind of debt with it.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, I gotta pay the food bank. I pay them those months.
It's a check to you, and you can deposit into your bank account and then write a check or whatever. That's
But can you do it every month, is my question?
no, well, I don't know, I would have to ask.
See, I have to pay them every month.
Okay, I'll have to ask and see if I can do monthly.
And we
but
can
right
pay
now-
in advance of the quarter, right? Or
Do what?
can we pay in advance of the quarter?
I'm not sure. Right now we have it set up quarterly for Nourish One Child, but I'll see if we
We'll
can.
check and see how we
That's a
can do
question
that, okay?
to ask.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
I think that's the last item we had on the list, so,
Oh,
yes,
I would like to say something.
yeah.
So, if we have to bid for anything,
Ms. Perkins is our grants and project coordinator, so we hold her responsible for all this money, so.
if we have to go to bid for anything, I need to know by like next meeting what y'all want to do. Because the bid specs have to be written, I need to know what we need, and then I have to go to bid for it. And if we're doing 3 or 4 bid openings, that's a lot. That's a lot of work, and that's a lot of coordination on my part, and a lot of writing for the bid specs. And we have to have time for it to go to bid and then do the bid openings. But if it is equipment on the bid list, we don't have to go to bid for it, we can just procure it, operate in that way. And just wanted to bring that to your attention, that we do need to know as soon as possible, because we're running up on a tight deadline.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any comments, questions?
Good list.
Let me ask about, I know you need to think about this and then we'll come back to the next meeting, but we've been talking about Jacob's Well for a while. Is this something we want to support? I think you need money, if I remember right, pretty quick. Huh?
Yeah, we do need it.
I'm sorry?
We do need money, but I don't know how you allocate it. I can work with you on that.
If we awarded this next meeting, which is 2 weeks from now, is that enough?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have enough time
Yes,
to
sir.
do that? So we
Mhm.
make this all one look? Is that
Yes.
okay, guys?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And thanks for the items that have been brought forward for consideration. Next item on the list that we have now is the new personnel policy review. Like I said before, we will recess tonight and we will take that item up this Thursday, 15 August at 5 o'clock. Next up, solid waste, an update on the insurance claim on our Mack truck.
Do y'all have this copy of the breakdown?
Yes.
So our insurance,
It's in your message.
so our insurance has reached out, so you can see what their offer is for the value of the truck was totaled. So that the value of the truck, what they offered, minus the deductible. So I reached out to them, asked them what were they gonna do with the truck that we wrecked, and they said they were just gonna scrap it. So I asked them, I said, is there any way we could look at buying the truck? So this is the price that they offered, for us to purchase the truck, the salvage value, $19,800. So they would just subtract that from the value of the truck, and you would see the remaining, to the county, $240,554.79 is what we'd get. The truck has a lot of good parts on it. The transmission is practically brand new because we wrecked it before, so they had to put a brand new transmission in it. But we could park this truck out and potentially make money off of it. It would just be sitting on our lot, and if we ever need a cylinder, tire, camera, I mean, literally anything, we could park this truck out, and at the end of the day, just scrap it, scrap it once we get done with it. I even talked to the company that has the truck. He said you even can potentially, because the only part that really messed up was the bed of it, the garbage bed. He said you could take that off and get a salvage title and put like a roll-off on it, either use it or sell it.
So he told me, this is his recommendation, he said you'd be crazy not to take it. That was his saying. So I just wanted to present it to y'all. I'm fine with either way. I'm just glad we're getting the money back. If we don't do the trade-in, that's just money in our bank. If we do, I'll just find a way to make more money. So either way, I'm good with it.
Questions?
Is there a need for another roll-off? I mean, you said you could make it into a roll-off.
But I think eventually, yeah, we'll be there. Yes, sir.
Actually, you could keep the truck and then you could auction the truck off and
Yeah.
make more than the salvage value. Yeah, I'm in favor of you retaining the salvage on it.
But they are needing an answer on this CRS. So I don't know if we need to set aside room for
Let me
this.
get through questions. Any more questions?
If you made it a roll-off, I mean, you have an idea how much that roll-off part would be?
No, sir, I don't. And I think really, we've had 2 wrecks with it. I think I'd make it roll off and sell it just to get that.
I'm like, you guys, I mean, I don't see.
Okay. So do I have a motion to set aside the rules to purchase the truck from CRS for salvage value?
I'll make a motion to
We have a motion to set aside the rule. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Do I have a motion to purchase the truck for the salvage value, and the purchase price would be $19,800?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, have a second? Have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you, thanks very much. Okay?
And if I have a second, I was gonna give y'all an update on our Kenworth trucks, if that's okay.
Okay?
I've talked to y'all at the previous meeting about the issues we've had with the trucks. So where we're at right now, what I'd like to do is, the Cummins is yet to give my answer on when parts will be in to add the engine brakes to the truck. So we're kinda stuck in there on that. But right now, one of my recommendations I'd like to do is to post one of these trucks on Gov Deals and post it till next meeting. We don't have to sell it, but we put it up for sale. And so we'll take an online auction, and then before the meeting, I can close it at like 4 o'clock, and then I can present to y'all at 5 o'clock, hey, this is what the truck could sell for. We don't have to sell it. I can deny it. We've done that before, but that way y'all have an idea, hey, this is what the truck could sell for. And then we actually have a truck on the ground right now from Ingram that we bought trucks before. They were planning on getting this truck in December, but it actually hit the ground, I believe it was last week. So they're finishing up some small things, but it's ready to go. So potentially, we could sell that truck in 2 weeks if we get the right amount for it without having to sink money into it and then purchase a new one. So that would be what I would like to do, but just see what y'all's thoughts is on that.
Mr. Chairman, we wouldn't have to take any action for him to do that,
No.
because we wouldn't be
No.
declaring
No, we don't.
surplus.
The only action would be at the next meeting if we have to approve him selling the truck. But let me ask a question, make sure we understand. You have the money, the funding to support purchase of the new truck if you were to sell this one?
Yes, sir. I was actually going to be presenting, if none of this happened, I'd be presenting selling the older truck to replace it. But now with the condition that we're in, we need to get rid of these other trucks first.
Okay, all right.
So, but yes, we do have the money.
All right, so I think at this point, we give you the go-ahead to post it, and let's see what the answer is next meeting.
I'll have y'all some results next meeting.
All right, thank you. With that, we'll now move into IT. Just an update on copier lease. Is coming that time of year where we would move to a new lease agreement, so.
So we're coming at the end of our 5-year copier lease. We've been using RJ Young. It's a company that was used before I was even here. I re-upped the contract, or the previous commission did in 2019. That comes up August 31st. That's not necessarily a deadline for us that we've got to hit with it. We're still going to be charged the same. We will just be out of contract with them. I hoped to have had another quote from y'all from a local company. They don't have that put together for tonight's meeting, but I hope for the next meeting I will have, we'll have a local quote and another quote with the company that's with us now. And there's a couple different options we can look at doing, but I want to wait till we have both options before I bring that before you.
Okay. Question?
Yep.
All right, so next meeting, we'll look at the quotes. Now, would we need to, when did you say that our current,
Our 5-year contract ends August 31.
so we'll need to take an action next meeting?
Especially if we're planning on changing, we will need to.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'll give you those options next meeting.
All right. Thank you. All right, next item, Public Works, road selection for the remaining bill bond funds. I just wanted to make sure the discussion areas, and I don't know that we need to get into a lot. We need to, you discussed it at the last meeting, but we need for the record these selections of roads that you're going to make, and we need to include that in our 24 road program, those roads. The other question that we got is we need to know for sure what the available funding is to be allocated to, and I think last time you made a decision to allocate it to 1, 3, and districts 1, 3, and 4. Is that right? Okay. So, Mr. Campbell?
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. Please find the list of roads that I've just handed out to you guys. And there's a designation on some of the roads for the sections that were added. As the chairman alluded to, the additional funding was approved in last meeting, and then our subsequent conversations should be what is indicated on this sheet. So if there are not any changes needed, then I would suggest this accompany the minutes from the last meeting of those approvals. Any questions?
So let's talk about funding. I know are you still getting invoices in on what we have done so far with the bond fund?
So
are we certain on where we are with the funding that's available for the roads?
Yes, sir.
And that amount is?
So is your question, are there still bonding projects to be completed?
No, the question is, how much money do we have to allocate to these new road selections for local roads from the bond fund?
So we had represented 400,000 of additional bonding funds available. Those were forecasted based on the completion of the ongoing projects. So this last week, County Road 47, the final layer of resurfacing was completed. There's still some guardrail to be done on County Road 77. County Road 47 will also receive striping, and that will, in summation, conclude the bonding project. So those funds, in addition to the rebuild funds that were allocated for the existing roads, will cover the cost of the project.
Okay, so you're confident we have 400,000 left to be allocated?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I have one thing here on this selection. So you got me down at 4.3. So originally, I think I had 3.5, and then added additional miles. So that leaves me with another 0.2 of a mile.
There's about a tenth there from 98 and 475.
My question is, I can add that onto the strip paving, right? I've got like 0.2.
I think I was brought up last time with a 1/10 and this 10. It's technically different funds altogether, so I don't know how to pay for strip paving out of bonding.
Okay. Everybody okay with this? So what I would say is that if you get any updates on the funding for what has already been done, that if we have to, we'll come back to this, because we want to make sure we have the funds available to cover what we're going to approve here. So we'll go ahead and approve this, but if we have to, we'll amend it later. Okay. All right. Next item, County Road 93. Mr.
Mr. Chairman, do we need to take action to add those?
All right. No, that's a good point.
Not the addition.
I'm sorry, did you vote these roads at the last meeting?
No, sir.
You did not. They have to be voted to be approved. Okay, so, right now it's County Road 98, 5/10.
Yes, sir, I've selected County Road 98, basically 5/10 of a mile, and County Road 475, 4/10 of a mile for my selection to, in addition to the original selection earlier this year.
Okay. 3?
I
220?
selected 1 mile on 220.
Okay, great selection. And 175 for District 4, 1 mile. Okay, so we need to set aside the rules.
I make a motion, we set aside the rules.
Okay, we have a second?
Second that.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the recommended addition to the 2024 road program, the items that were selected, that includes County Road 98, County Road 475, County Road 220, County Road 175?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. To have a second?
No, second.
Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Next item, County Road 93.
As a follow-up to the previous meetings, Mr. Steve Poole was with us to describe a preliminary repair approach for the multiple failed sections of slopes on County Road 93. So we have him with us again tonight to present to you the repair proposals for all the individual sections. So in the information that was handed out prior to the meeting, you will notice there is a difference in each package, and it's designated by the sections that will be covered by Steve. So there is an upper, middle, and lower. So if there are any questions, I'll turn it over to Steve now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to come back. And I really just kind of added some additional information to this overview slides. I think you've got the proposals here. Each of the sections, I'm going to get into it. And just, we went through this, so there's no need to talk about it. This is the County Road 17 repair that we did, County Road 189 repair. And this is County Road 93. So there's 3 distinct areas. We're calling them the upper, the middle, and the lower. And you can see with the map here where they are, and on the double switchback. And, you know, before we talked about the preliminary repair, and this is just, we formalized everything, and everything kind of matches what we think as far as the repair modes for each of the 3 sections. And kind of just real quickly kind of get into what's going on. You know, the stabilization elements that we're talking about, whether it's micropiles or soil nails, it kind of be summarized by this picture here, which is a self-drilling soil nail, and kind of taking a closer look at what's going on there. As you drill in, whether it's vertically or horizontally, you're actually introducing this into the soil and nailing the soil. Grout goes in the middle of the hollow bar and comes out the back, all the way and fills that hole. And so basically it's real similar to a development link that you get. And so we calculate all that based on what we're trying to prevent from sliding, from moving, and settlement or whatever. So, and then you get into the load versus how many you need and how long they need to be based on the geotechnical information. And fortunately, we have that information through the S&D reports. And so, straight, I mean, this is a heck of a situation for the county, but it's, you know, stuff that we do every day. And if you were to take a cross-section of those elements, you see the bar here that we drill, you see the cement grout in the middle and then around the edge of it. And then beyond that, you have densification of the soil because that's pressurized grout going all the way down the middle and coming back. So you can kind of relate it to somewhat maybe a concrete pile. It's a tension, you know, it's friction, excuse me, a friction pile. And so somewhat of a comparison, but if you were to take pull that thing out, this is what's going on. So your 1 inch, 1.5 inch bar becomes basically a 6 or 7 inch column in the ground. And so that's just kind of a little bit of what's going on with these repairs. This goes back to 2019. This is what was going on. Now it looks a lot different because it's all grown up, right? But this sort of shows, the stressing, the settlement is going on the upper side. And so I just wanted to, kind of point that out. Kind of moving on, this is what we talked about last time and that we formalized. This is different from the other two. And here what we're trying to do is stabilize the road platform, force any future movement, in this case to the left, downslope, and this kind of A-frame micropile is something that we use a lot in the railroad world to stabilize their tracks. In a similar situation, whether it's the roadbed, in this case, or their case, a railroad. Now you see, and I'll talk a little bit later about the grouted columns for the settlement mitigation. And this right here is that same, you got your compression elements, your A-frame down below, and you got a tension element to the long one. And you see the same sort of scenario here, right in the shoulder of the railroad. I really just kind of want to show that that's what we're achieving here, the similar application. And then you see in the middle of the bottom, that micropile cap encapsulates all of those elements together and makes for a structural frame to stabilize that road platform. And so that's kind of primary stabilization. And to supplement that are some grouted columns, which is a matrix of penetrations in the ground to control the settlement that we saw in earlier pictures, all in the roadway. Some of the other jobs, you have stress cracks like on 17 and 189, which is very distinct, but here it's all over the board. So that's what we're trying to correct there. So grouted columns, that just kind of shows the process there. And then we talk about and this is primarily to kind of understand the proposals, when you kind of go through them. Then we talk about a reinforced soil foundation, which is pretty much a engineered fill, if you will, atop the grouted columns to distribute the loading of the vehicles as you're going in. So it's a combination of geogrid and fabric and stone and layers. Now this is an example of the same thing. You can sort of see the load of all that wall basically is kind of, this is a little bit more intense. This is, I can't see what the depth is there, but it's, we're only talking 2 to 3 feet of reinforced soil foundation at the top of the granite columns. Now some of these are going to be used, this is all basically the upper layer, roadway. We move on to the middle roadway. You see a defined, the picture to the left, you see a defined scarp, if you will, but you also see that same settlement all throughout. So this is really similar to previous repairs that we've done. You've got your soil nail wall, and you've got also your grouted columns and your reinforced soil foundation top to control that mitigation zone. This is a smaller job. And that's really similar to the 189 job with the soil nail wall. It's just the 189 didn't have that same settlement. And so we're doing the same grouted columns with that as well. I'm kind of going fast with this. Any questions, just stop me. Give me time to breathe. If you have any questions, that'd be great. It'd be appreciated. Okay. So now the middle section is straightforward. Soil nail wall, but we're also controlling that settlement, as I discussed. The lower site, this is pretty intense because that switchback this is LiDAR, it's change detection of what's going on. It's right there at that turn. And so you can't just put a wall there and have it sink. So there's a lot going on there. And again, it's right in that switchback. The top left photo shows what it was when I first went out there in 2019. And you see in the right photo how that's kind of kept going because borings have showed it's deep, 70 feet, I think, of just very poor, low count material. And then So for this one, again, there's a lot going on there. So you gotta kind of control that thing from receding all the way up to the drive or then or the upper road as it continues. And then you've gotta do something to stabilize that bank or that switchback. And so in here, again, I apologize, there's a lot going on here, but we basically got a soil wall of the upper scarp and then stabilizing that to where it doesn't continue. And then we gotta control the water. Water is always a problem, so especially in poor material. And so the gray lines there represent basically taking channelization straight down. But we also have a series of grouted columns to kind of give that foundation in that poor material. So we have grouted columns with that another soil reinforcing foundation to kind of seal that, and we'll have an impermeable layer there to where the water kind of just rolls off, is focused in the ditch, and is taken beyond there. And then the purple line is the some elements to, you can see right here, just the two. It's a short wall, so short soil wall to stabilize that shoulder of that switchback. And again, there's a lot going on here, but I just wanted to kind of give some context for the proposals that are in front of you for the three distinct areas. And then, all of these we're designing specifically for a 1.3 factor safety or modeling control of that, and everything is broken down per the master services agreement that we have with you guys. I think that's about it. If there's any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, if this is Dream World, how long would it take to do each stage of this?
Each project?
Mm-hmm.
The upper is the longest one at about 1,000 feet. That's 15 weeks. The middle one, 4 weeks. And then the lower one, and it's at the second to last page, it's in there, and I think I bolded it to make it.
Okay.
And then the third one is the lower section is 5 weeks. So 24 weeks total.
That's barring weather, though.
That takes some weather days, but if it's just some massive, event, but that's, now, that's, we're kind of getting into the rainy season sun, but, we just, and what we do, if the board likes this approach and approves it, we would go ahead and, first go, just like before with County Road 38, we'll get FEMA approval, and then, once the board chooses to approve, then we just have specific plans, and we can knock those out quickly.
So of course you can't speak for FEMA, but the prospects of getting a fairly quick approval for these.
I think John and I were talking about this. Majority of this work's in the right of way. That's some of the big holdup is getting all the not the hysterical, the historical commission and all the other ones, right? Archaeology, fish and wildlife, I think, and but this might be faster, maybe for that reason.
Is this something, Jonathan, like last time where we had to do the work at a certain time of the year before one of the species come back? Would that be something we'd have to factor in timeline for this, or is that unknown?
That's predominantly gonna come down to clearing limits, which with this, the footprint of almost all of this being an existing right-of-way, in my opinion, that could be classified as previously disturbed. So if they see it that way, then that could streamline the review process. It will still go into large project review and go into the queues and the processes that follows, but the environmental section is usually where everything's slow.
And so for a timeline perspective for us, is there any chance that we could get this through the approval process, again hypothetically speaking, so that you guys could focus the work that we have to do during the low time, the winter time, or is that even possible with this?
So one good thing about this is it's essentially turnkey. So the way that Steve and GSI put this together are components with support built in based on the bid items that are already in place.
Okay.
we would have a function in providing material, but compared to hands-on functionality like we've experienced in some of the other repairs, it would be fairly minimal.
Okay.
One of the things that would drive schedule the most is obviously weather and when it's able to start. So a lot of that would depend on approval with you all and then also FEMA.
So in my mind, if I lay this out, once we approve this, FEMA's gonna take 3-4 months to get it done. Tell me if I'm off base. That's gonna put us in midwinter. With that, would you, and we don't, if I understand, we don't do any of the work, this is all contract work that we have here. Unlike 38, that we've done a lot of the work, this is contract.
Just material.
Just material.
Correct.
So we're talking, starting, when would you estimate? I'm asking the same question, but I'm sort of, I'll peg you for
It
it.
depends
When would
on-
you think we could start doing something?
Well, I mean, once the, understanding the approval and all that, and taking all that consideration, I mean, we're looking fourth quarter, obviously, end of the year. I mean, it all depends on the approval process. If they come back in 2 months, then we can start in 3. Start in 3. I mean, we can start, 2 weeks after they approve it. Because I feel comfortable that if the board chooses to approve this, then we'll go ahead and start plans. We'll be done with those in a month.
Okay.
And then we're ready, once they approve, just like before, with kind of 38, then we're already talking mobilization once that approval comes in from FEMA.
January, February, when? Give me, I'm not holding you, I'm not holding
Yeah, I
you
mean,
something, I'm just
It
trying
really
to get.
depends on FEMA. I mean, if it goes fast, it could be November, December. Otherwise, you're probably, potentially looking January, February.
Okay. And now the $64,000 question.
It's gonna be a little bit more than $64,000.
How much?
How much more?
A lot more.
Well, at the last meeting, I think I mentioned a budget of $6 million for the contract work, and it's like 5.5 is what it came
So
in. Collectively for all.
we need a number, because do we want to move this tonight, or can we wait till next meeting, or do we move this tonight?
It's whatever you all are comfortable with. We didn't come with any anticipation of approval, so it's totally.
Do we need something else, for the record, if we approve, or do we have everything we need to approve this?
That should be the complete proposal that you see tonight.
We got it here.
Yes.
What's the total?
Mr. Chairman, if I calculated correctly, on all 3 proposals, it's $5,494,658.50.
Okay.
And in that, from what I see, there are contingencies of, I see one contingency of 50,000. Is there any other contingencies in there?
I want to say that was just shy of 300, and what that was is really to kind of help establish budgets with FEMA, and that's work that, and I have specific language, that's to be,
50, 90, and 200.
200 being
So,
the
so 340,
That's all right.
340,000 in contingency.
And that's, we're not planning on using that, but I'm just saying with construction this large, it's really a good idea, because I hate just, hey, this is.
We're
this-
basically proving about 5/8.
No, that's
No,
included.
that's in the 5.
That's in the 5.
Is that in the
It is,
5?
yes, sir.
Okay.
That's the total amount.
All right.
So if you don't utilize your contingency, you could be.
It'll be less.
340 less.
Okay. I think we waited a long time on this, and we have the proposals in front of us. Let me ask any questions.
And I think that, like you, we've waited long enough, we have everything we need to know, we want to make a decision.
We're ready to move
Well,
forward.
I'd like to, on behalf of the people in my district, ask for, propose a motion to set aside the rules.
Okay, we have a motion to set aside the rules. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'd also offer a motion to
Well,
approve.
go ahead and form the motion.
I would also offer a motion to approve as presented, the $5,494,658.50 for the stabilization and reclamation of this work, or however it needs to be worded, repair of this roadway, all 3 sections.
So could I offer that the motion is to authorize and approve the repair of County Road 93, all three sections at a total cost of
$5,494,658.50.
Do I have a motion? Do we have a second?
I second that.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you. I agree with Chris. Thanks for the citizens up there that rely on that road. Thanks for all the work, guys. Really appreciate it. That's the last item in our work session. At this time, we'll move to reports from the staff. County Administrator.
Just working on getting the ARPA funds obligated and budgets.
Okay, and our budget meeting will schedule 29th and 30th.
Tentatively, we have set aside days, the 29th and 30th. We might try to move it to be all done in one day, depending on how schedules allow.
Okay. County Engineer, anything else?
Nothing, sir, thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. County Attorney is not here today. Let me ask, Solid Waste, anything else? No?
I think that's it.
All right, thanks very much. With that, we'll move to comments from the commission, District 4, Commissioner McWell. We'll go ahead and do comments, even though we're gonna go to recess, so it's for the record here today. Commissioner McBride?
Sure. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and presenting information, your wants, your needs. We'll take those things into consideration when we look at how we'll spend the remaining ARPA funds. I know it's 6:30 and I don't want to steal Paul's thunder and he knows more about it, but I just want to say I'm so happy that Bob Manning is in good spirits and Paul fills in on that, I'm sure, but that's all I have.
District 3, Commissioner Buckner?
Yes, super excited to hear the news of Bob's return, and so all thoughts and prayers with him, but I don't have anything else to add. Thanks, sir.
Okay. District 2, Commissioner Kinnaman.
66 days for Bob. He's coming home today. I'm pretty sure he just got home by the plans they had for the community to share welcome home gifts up there in the community. So thankful for that, and thankful to be working with the commission, and blessed to be working for the county people.
District 1, Commissioner Gully.
You know, I'd just like to echo from earlier, it's such a testament to the employees that we have with their long-term commitment, working to the county. That just shows what a special place this is that we've been able to retain, even with pay like it is and hard economic times, be able to retain long-term committed employees that value their commitment to the citizens of the county. And I'd also like to thank the commission for their support on this long overdue repair of County Road 93. The folks of the Long Island Bryant community have been without that road for, is it like going on 5-6 years now? How long has it been? It's been a long time. It's a long time coming, so I'm proud that we were able to work together and get something going on that. And again, praise for Bob with his recovery moving well. That's excellent news. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
I also like to say a lot of prayers have been answered by family and friends and community for Bob Manning. He's had a tough go for 66 days, and for him and his family, and for him to be home today, that is a blessing. And I don't need to say any more about what's been said about our county employees and about the great work that's been done. And so I will leave it at that. For y'all, our next meeting is August the 26th, and it will be here at 5 o'clock. I will just state, but we'll take the motion later. We will recess at the end of this meeting. We have an executive session, a very short one, for discussion or just, but we will recess and reconvene on this coming Thursday evening, the 15th at 5 o'clock. And that reconvene will be here, and that will be to discuss our new personnel policy. At this time, I would like to have a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
We have, and let me state that that is for purpose to discuss negotiations that are going on. So we have a motion, to have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much this time.